In today's video we're going to be diving back into more Borderlands 4, and for this one we're going to be taking a look at the most powerful and the very best legendary shotguns. If you're after some amazing shotguns that have some great potential for damage as well as doing some other things, then this is definitely going to be the video for you. So coming in at number 5, one that I had to put on the list because it's just so fun to use, and that's going to be the Linebacker legendary shotgun. This thing is crazy, absolutely crazy, and if you like carpet bombing just a whole area, dishing out a lot of damage and having a lot of fun in the process, then this is going to be one of the very best weapons in the game for you. Has a great amount of area effect to it, does a nice amount of damage, and as well as that, when you start kitting it out right, you can really start to see the effects as it decimates areas of enemies. Now in order to get hold of this, you're going to have to make it up the right hand side of the map to the mountainous region, then you're going to want to make it just up to this mine just here, the Linebacker mine. Make your way through it all the way to the very end where you're going to get to Sky Spanner Crouch. In order to get here, the best actual fast travel I found is going to be the Heritage Opus, and then you just make your way there, make your way throughout the instance, get to the very end, and hopefully take on the boss without too many issues. This guy has got a big old health bar about him, so if you've got any fire damage that should take him out nice and easy, or just anything that can take out his health really fast works perfect. So hopefully you'll be able to take him out without too many issues, and you are going to want to watch out for his exploding kind of bat enemies that he leaves behind. These can 1 or 2 shot you if you're unlucky because they do some really big explosive damage. But fingers crossed, after a little bit of farming you'll be able to get the item you're after, the legendary Linebacker shotgun, which is just an awesome weapon to have in your kit and a lot of fun to use on pretty much any build. This thing does a nice bit of damage over an area and hasn't really got terrible anything. It's got a nice little bit of reload to it, average amount of ammo capacity, but the main thing you're going to be using this for is going to be for its perk, which is going to be full coverage. Because now you're going to have bouncing projectiles that are going to bounce numerous times. If I remember correctly, I think it's about 5 times, and every single time they do, they're going to increase in damage by 25%, and as well as that, they're going to have a little bit of extra radius of 35% each time. Now over to my next legendary shotgun, and this will probably only be on my list, so if you hate it, apologies, but I think this one is much better than people give it credit for, and that's going to be TK's Wave. This thing as standard does a nice amount of damage, however it can miss from time to time because the bullets, or should I say the projectiles, are kind of in a wave effect, making it sometimes hit enemies, sometimes miss with a few. However, if you manage to get hold of this with the Atlas part on it that gives you the tracker, this becomes an absolute monster and is a lot of fun to use in the right builds. Now in order to get hold of this item, you're going to want to go up the left hand side of the map, and you're going to be over in the ruined sumplands. You're going to want to make it over to the Trinket Crevasse mine, when at the end you'll be tackling the Rock and Roller. Closest fast travel to it is going to be this one just here, and that's going to be Judgment's Lapse. When you do get to this boss, remember he's going to be one that's got crystals on it, which can be an absolute nightmare, so hopefully you've got some exploding stuff going on, or just something that can take them out nice and easy. Then just dwindle the guy's health down, fingers crossed you'll be able to demolish it without too many issues, and hopefully after a few farms you grab hold of the TK's awesome legendary shotgun. Like I said, this thing is a lot of fun to use, however you do really want to look out for one that has that Atlas tracker. It really does up the capabilities of it, as then you'll be able to toggle it on or off depending on the situation, and it can really help you for those tougher boss encounters. Honestly, this weapon's a lot better than people are giving it credit for, and is a lot of fun to use in certain playstyles and builds. The only thing I would say is when I've been using it, I found it's probably not the best to use against vile enemies because of those crystals, so you may want to switch on something else such as a wombo combo or something that helps to dissolve them fast. Over to our next weapon, and this is my favourite weapon in the game so far. I absolutely love using this, and it works absolutely exceptional in certain builds, and that's going to be the Convergence legendary shotgun. This thing on Harlow is just exceptional. It is crazy good for how much elemental damage it pushes out, and honestly it's probably the best elemental shotgun in the game. It's perfect for anyone who's trying to build around that kind of thing. If you're after getting hold of this, then you're going to want to make your way once again up the mountainous side of the region. We're making our way through the Terminus range. Then you're going to want to head all the way to the very top area where you're going to be going to the mine, the Bitter Vein. Just make your way all the way through here, and right at the very end it's going to be the boss you're after, and that's going to be Bramblesong. Another quite easy boss to take care of, so I would say just bring something that can dwindle its health down again. Anything with fire works absolutely amazing, but as long as you've got a bit of damage on yourself, this boss shouldn't be one of the harder ones, and you should be able to take him out nice and fast. Then again, hopefully after a little bit of farming you'll be able to get hold of one of the Convergence shotguns, and after farming a whole bunch of them, one thing I would say, this thing is absolutely awesome, but it doesn't have the most magazine size, so if you can, I'd probably try and get it with a COV manufacturer's part, just so that you can use it in that overheat state and get a little bit more out of it. Other than that though, this thing is just absolutely awesome, comes in a whole variety of elemental damage, and one of the great things, it comes with this perk, the asymptotic, which basically means when it does shoot out a bullet, that bullet is going to turn into kind of slashes that really helps to up your elemental damage and just damage enemies a little bit more overall. Next up, a lot of people's favourite, this is going to be an absolutely awesome weapon on a whole bunch of builds, and that's going to be the Hot Slugger. If you want to dish out just a crazy amount of damage as well as taking out foes very fast and easy, then the Hot Slugger is going to be for you, as it's going to deal a really high amount of damage, and as well as that has the chance to up its damage every time you're taking enemies out. This, alongside the fact that it gets the Jacob's part, means that you're going to ricochet damage, take out enemies like almost no other weapon in the game, and is a lot of fun to use in the right circumstances. Now, if you're trying to get hold of the legendary shotgun, the Hot Slugger, then you're going to want to make your way all the way up the right hand side of the map, and you're going to need to make it over to the Craven's Nook bunker, where you're going to make your way all the way through and make it to Callus, the harbinger of the annihilating death. Now, as you're making your way towards here, you will need to make sure you open up the entrance, so have a little look around. Just off of one of the ledges there should be one of the canisters you need. Use that, throw it at the door, and you should be able to get inside nice and easy. Once inside, you're going to just make your way through, and then right at the very end is going to be the boss you're after, Callus, the harbinger of annihilating death, which is a bit of a mouthful. Take them out, fingers crossed you'll be able to get this drop after not too many tries, and then you're going to have one of the best multi-target weapons in the game and a lot of fun to use because of just how much damage this thing can dish out. The only downside about this weapon is that it does only contain one bullet in the chamber, so you will have to reload constantly, but one quick trick you can do is when you are using it, tap the reload as you're shooting, and it does kind of act as an animation cancel, and you can fire and reload ridiculously fast that way once you start getting the hang of it. Base damage on this weapon is really high, so that's one of the main reasons you'll be using it, but as well as that, also its perk right here, and that's going to be Blazing Barrel, because now, whenever you're taking out enemies, you're going to get 30% extra damage for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Perfect if you're just running and gunning and absolutely decimating your enemies, and as well as that, you'll get a Jacob's part on it, meaning you can ricochet these shots, decimating anything that's near it. Now, I had far from the perfect setup for this, but one thing I would say, if you can get hold of it, then one shot, one kill over in your specializations is definitely going to be something you want to look into, as now, whenever you get extra damage, it's going to enhance that, and it's going to allow you to do more damage to your other enemies, making running and gunning just a whole bunch easier. Now lastly, and I'm going to put a disclaimer here because I don't think this will be everyone's top spot on number 1, but I think for what it brings to the table, it's just amazing, and that's going to be the legendary shotgun, the Bod. This thing can work really well on quite a few different characters, works nicely on Ammon, works really well on Vec, funnily enough if you're using a sniper build, and also works really nicely on Harlow. Haven't tried it on Rafa yet, so you let me know in the comments how it's like. If you do need to get it, you're going to want to make your way all the way up the map into the middle area, then you're going to make your way over to Carcadia district, it's going to be the final Defiance, then you want to head out, make your way down a little bit and around, until you make it to the toil of spoiling this. Again, you're going to want to make your way through this mine, make it all the way to the very end where you'll be taking on the boss Axmal. This guy likes to jump around a bit, so you may want to kind of pin him down, take out his health as fast as possible. If you've got something that can do extra damage to armor, that can really help to take him down fast in the early stages. Then again, after a whole bunch of farming, this one took me ages, so let me know how you guys and girls get on. You're going to drop the armored bod, and hopefully it's got some nice perks on it, but a few nice things about this weapon is the fact that it's kind of rapid fire, so dishes out a whole bunch of damage to a single target, doesn't have a terrible reload on it, okay-ish mag size at 8, but one of the things that sets this apart from all the other shotguns on the list, and pretty much every other weapon in the game, is the fact that its perk gives you the all-rounder perk. This thing is crazy because it now means that this is classed as a sniper, SMG, assault rifle and a shotgun, so pretty much everything except for ordnance, which also means that it will get another ammo type, so it's really hard to run out of ammo. Manufacturer's part, as far as I can remember, I think this can be random, so hopefully you get a slightly better one than I did, but the last manufacturer's part just here is always going to give you a different ammo type, and for this one I got sniper rifle, which can work out really nicely on some builds such as Vex's. However, the icing on the cake with this, because it's classed as every single standard weapon type, whenever you're defeating enemies with this or doing pretty much anything with it, you're going to be pretty much ticking off all of your weapon challenges at once. Absolutely awesome, works out really nice on a lot of builds. And like I said, if it's not the one for you, chuck another one in the top spot, because all of these legendary weapons are absolutely amazing and some of the most powerful and most fun shotguns in the game. As always, let me know in the comments if there's anything you think I've missed off, but as always, there's going to be a whole bunch more content away from me. For now, take care, I'll see you on the next day.